What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and the past few weeks have been pretty rough for Star Wars, with so many people calling out Disney and Lucasfilm after they fired Gina Carano over her political opinion. Fans are stepping away. They are pointing right back at Disney and Lucasfilm and saying, these are your double standards. This is the hypocrisy of your company, and they are tired of it. But evidently, that has not been enough for Disney CEO Bob Chapek, because he is still very happy with the job that Kathleen Kennedy has been doing with Star Wars. Take a look at this article here. From Bounding Into Comics, John F. Trent. Disney CEO Bob Chapek lavishes praise on Kathleen Kennedy a month after she had a spokesman fire and lie about Gina Carano. Now, before we even get into this, here are some of the things that Bob Chapek is saying about both Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige, because he does put them together quite often. It should be noted that this is a Disney CEO at a virtual event. We can't really expect him to sit there and just bash someone who is working for him at this type of thing that'll be seen by a lot of investors. That would make no sense, so we can't have that expectation. However, when you pay attention to the things that he said, he definitely lavished her with praise, called her a genius at one point. So let's get into this. Disney CEO Bob Chapek recently lavished praise on Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy less than a month after she had a spokesman fire and lie about The Mandalorian's Gina Carano. And that is truly the thing. This past month, effectively, has been terrible for Star Wars. Anything they post on any social media gets absolutely bombarded. We've talked about their YouTube page several times. This is embarrassing. The ratios that we are seeing on these videos are 100% absolutely embarrassing. And if we were to go to this video, right? If we were to go to this video and look, all of these quotes are from Gina Carano. I'm not the only one who's ever been bullied by this company. Don't try to ruin my life with lies when yours can be ruined with the truth. These are all people destroying Disney Star Wars, standing up and quoting Gina Carano because they've been inspired by her. So it has not been a pretty look for Star Wars. When you look at these ratios, people despise Star Wars right now. That's the bottom line. Chapek's statement came during an appearance at a virtual conference hosted by Morgan Stanley. YouTuber Not My Star Wars captured the conversation and shared parts of it to his channel. Now, shout out to Not My Star Wars. I've seen a couple of the things he's put out there before. I want you to listen to exactly what he said when referring. He was asked about Marvel, and then he just decided to go ahead and combine Kathleen Kennedy and, he says, Lucas, meaning Lucasfilm, in this whole thing. Take a listen. And there is some music in the background. I think that's music that Not My Star Wars probably put in the video just to change it a little bit. So here we go.
What are you guys doing? What are you and Kevin and the team doing to make sure that Marvel continues to thrive, particularly as you weave in Disney Plus, and the amount of content coming to us is going up, pretty dramatically?
I would say the situation is the same for Marvel as it is Lucas. And it goes to speak to the talent of not only Kevin and his team, but Kathy Kennedy and her team over at Lucas. I mean, we're really fortunate to have both groups being led by such stellar creative talent. But in terms of, fatigue, I guess that's born.
Such stellar creative talent. Now, that's not something I would use in reference to Kathleen Kennedy. I wouldn't say creative. I wouldn't say stellar. I also wouldn't say talented. Maybe you could throw such in there. But that's the words that Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO, used to describe Kathleen Kennedy. We've been hearing a lot of rumors out there about she's in hiding from the people at Lucasfilm. She's done. We've gone through this whole thing before. Kathleen Kennedy, the success of The Mandalorian saved her job. It did. Now, whether she was 100% going to leave after that or not, there's no doubts that after a successful show like that, yeah, she's going to be fine. There's no doubt about it. Kathleen Kennedy, at this point in time, is not going anywhere unless fans continue this. If this anger that is directed at Star Wars, if the people that are truly stepping away and not consuming the content, the only way that happens is if that continues, if that energy continues all the way through into next year, all the way through into the year after that, maybe then they will finally understand what's going on. And this is the quote from right here. What are you and Kevin and the team doing to make sure Marvel continues to thrive as you weave in Disney Plus, and the amount of content coming up is going up pretty dramatically? And that's exactly what Chapek said. I would say the situation is the same for Marvel as it is at Lucas. And it goes to speak at the talent, not only Kevin and his team, but Kathy Kennedy and her team. We're really fortunate to have both groups being led by such stellar creative talent. But in terms of fatigue, I guess that's borne out in the numbers. So the creative canvas, if you will, is very broad for both Lucas and Star Wars, as well as Disney, and very multi-dimensional. It's superheroes in Marvel's case, but it's more. And yes, God, it skipped on me. It's a galaxy far, far away for Lucas, but it's very more. They're just going to have to keep growing because of the creative talent we have. And then again, he mentions it. It's not just one aside. It continues. Links Kathleen Kennedy with Kevin Feige with both of what they're doing. Puts them on the same level. That's what Disney CEO Bob Chapek is trying to tell everyone. That's where they're at their best. Managing the mythology so there are little pieces here and there they dribble and all connect. It's really amazing. Geniuses. Do you really think that Kathleen Kennedy is on that same level that Kevin Feige is when we're talking about the MCU and the things they've done? I've been critical of the MCU. I'm also a big fan of what it was at one point. I'm just getting a little tired of what the MCU has become. But there is no way you could put Kevin Feige on the same level that you are putting Kathleen Kennedy. That is unacceptable. He would later call Kennedy, quote, an absolute treasure for us. He stated, well, just like Kevin and Kathy and Sean at the studio, Jimmy, Dana, Peter, and John are absolute treasures for us from a creative standpoint. I assume he means Jon Favreau. Driving this machine, but giving you the type of content you saw at the investor conference. Now, this is all coming. Again, this is all coming after Kathleen Kennedy has made an absolute embarrassment of herself. They had to take her video, remove the comments and the likes and dislikes from the Oscars page because it got bombarded. A 1% like ratio. Absolutely devastated. That is how much people despise Kathleen Kennedy right now. This is someone who every time they post on Twitter or Facebook, they get bombarded with questions about why would you do this to Gina Carano? Hey, why don't you tell about Disney, or why don't you tell us about China? Why you're shrinking Finn on the Chinese poster? People are waking up to this, but evidently, according to the CEO Bob Chapek, everything's as normal. Everything's fine. Kathleen Kennedy's just as good as Kevin Feige. And I think one thing that's also very important in this whole thing is that we're seeing it play out on Disney Plus. They showed when it comes to what is being watched most on Disney Plus, Mandalorian took an absolute nosedive as soon as Gina Carano was fired. It fell from top 5 all the way down to 17th, something that we did not see well into April. So 6 weeks later for season 1, the hype is completely fallen off. They have destroyed any of that momentum that they did build by giving you the token Luke Skywalker appearance at the end of Mandalorian that had so many people excited, so many people ready to get back into Disney Star Wars. Well, it turns out that may have been a little premature, which a lot of us were warning people. A lot of us were saying, hey, listen, we know you like the nostalgia bait and all these things that they're doing, but when you look at this story and the fact that it still is Disney Star Wars, you better be careful getting too invested. Well, spoiler alert, that came out to be true. But I wanted to get that out there because I thought it was interesting. I know you're going to hear all of these, all of the rumors, all this stuff that's out here about Kathleen Kennedy. But at the end of the day, I think it's very clear that she very much has the support of the people in charge at Disney. So she's not going to go anywhere. Let me know your thoughts about all this stuff in the comments below. What did you think about Bob Chapek's words? Again, I don't expect him to put her on blast in any way, shape, or form. This is something that investors will see. This is something everyone would see. You would never want to do that publicly. At the same time, the amount of praise that he heaped on her, the level that he put her with Kevin Feige and what he's done with the MCU is an absolute embarrassment. It really tells you where their frame of mind is at the top at Disney. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.